Hey there, it's Coach Melrose with London Football TV, and I get asked a lot how to stream a football game. There's a lot of football, especially high school ball, that doesn't get covered. It's not that complicated, and let's take a couple of minutes to learn how, for probably pretty cheap, and for things you may already have, how you can get a football game or any sport live up to YouTube or Twitch or whatever you want to use pretty cost effectively. So let's run down the gear you need and then how to get it online. All right, so let's run it down. Basically, four main things you need are a camera, you need an HDMI cord, you'll need a little USB HDMI encoder, right? And a laptop would be ideal, right? Doesn't matter the specs, it doesn't need to be super hardcore. This is just an old Canon, ready to go, point and shoot deal. I've also used in the past little like GoPro cameras, as providing they have an HDMI out on the side. And the one thing you want to be aware of with like old camcorders or action cameras is it'll be HDMI mini, which if we look at the ends here, that's like the mini size versus the regular size HDMI. So you can kind of see the two of them there versus this one. That short end is going to go into the camera. There's many versions of this, but I'll put a link to this one on Amazon. This is just going to accept that HDMI cable and go USB into your laptop, and then everything will be received and mixed through OBS. So let's hook it all up, and then we're going to learn about OBS. All right, so here we go. We've got our HDMI cable hooked up to our camera. We're going to run that HDMI over to the little USB encoder. And then now we've received the signal. There's the shot there of the wall showing up inside of OBS. So we'll jump into OBS and I'll talk to you about how to configure it. But again, this is the zoomed out look. Obviously, you'd have your camera probably on a tripod, right? However long you need an HDMI cable to your encoder into your laptop. Okay, so the software we need to download is OBS Studio. Do my best to put a link to this in the description as well. It's just like installing any other piece of software. Once you're installed, you'll get to basically a blank canvas that looks like this. And what we're going to do is click on this little plus button on the bottom left here and create a new scene. I would suggest calling this, camera or main, whatever you want to do. And then we need to start feeding sources into this scene. So we're going to click on the plus in the sources box here, and we will choose video capture device. We're going to call this camera capture. Hit OK. And then this will prompt us to actually pick what device we want to use. So, obviously your integrated webcam on your laptop would work as well. Our little USB deal is this USB 3.0 capture. And I can go back to that. There's our shot of the wall again. I'm going to hit OK. And now I've got everything, from the camera right into OBS. So, I mean, if you wanted to go super basic, you could literally, upload this to YouTube and away you go. Or, if you want to get a little extra special here, of course, people like seeing the score. You have the ability to come in here and add in a text box on the screen, which will just float. Let's call this score. And all we need to do is, you get fancy, pick your fonts, but let's just call this home and put 00 space away 00. Okay. And then we'll just resize this, just use the little kind of toggles on the side, and then set that on our screen. So, this is super basic, but again, if this is for grandma and grandpa or somebody to be able to watch the game at home, it's a great way to at least keep the score going. Now, of course, you can build all sorts of different text modules on here for Q1 for quarter one, or we can get really advanced on this. But again, we're trying to do this basic, doing this quick and dirty. So we've got our camera up. We have a score. If we want to adjust the score, like let's say the home team wins, or scores, let's just go into this. We're going to double click on it. It'll open up the little properties for score. We can update it, and now we're home 7 and away 00. And then as the game progresses, again, something else happens. Go to the score, come back here, just manually update what's happening. Yep, we got another score here, 14-0 for the home team. And then that'll be up on our screen. Okay. The next step here is getting this up to YouTube, and that'll be the And the next clip. Okay, so now that we have everything set up inside of OBS, we've got a camera feed, got that on the tripod, we got our score, we're ready to go so that we can at least get content onto YouTube. We need to go create a stream. So go to your YouTube page in the upper right hand corner, click on create, and then go to go live. When we get to the go live screen, we'll go in and schedule a stream here in the upper right hand corner. And this will just start prompting us to give it all the information that it needs. So let's call this home game 1. Add a description if you want. You can add a thumbnail. Maybe you've got the two logos from the teams. If not, just hit next. Don't worry about the monetization screen. Obviously, that's likely going to be off unless you're monetized. On the chat customization side of things, the one thing I would suggest here, especially if you're streaming a high school game, is put the participant mode to subscribers and at minimum set this to 5 minutes, maybe even 10. What this does is it forces anybody who wants to get involved in the chat to be a subscriber. So it's going to help grow your channel, but also slows down the ridiculousness that will eventually show up in your chat. If you don't believe me, just leave that on anyone and just watch the magic happen. Okay. And then we'll hit next. And we're going to obviously set up what the story is with this stream. In most cases, you're just going to leave this as public because anybody can watch it. But maybe you want to do an unlisted where you would only share the link with people who are allowed to watch it. Could be private, but for this example, let's use public. We'll pick the day. We'll go February 8th at 6:50. Maybe kickoffs at 7. We're gonna go live with the stream 10 minutes early, just to make sure everything's good. So we'll hit done, and once this creates the stream, this will either take us back to the screen we were just at or the live screen for the stream. And what we need from this is the stream key, which is right up here. And there's a little copy button on the preview window here in the upper right hand corner. So we'll click on that. That's going to copy the stream key. We'll navigate back to OBS. You go to the settings menu, and then on the left side of the settings menu is the button for stream. We'll click on that. If service isn't already set to YouTube, choose YouTube. Don't worry about connecting your account right now. That actually gets a little more complicated, in my opinion. More on that in another video, but just use Stream Key, which is the easiest thing. You'll click on that. That'll open up this box, clear everything out that's in here, paste in our key that we just copied, click on Apply, and then OK. And if everything looks good and we're connected to some sort of internet or you're hotspotting your phone, ideally, you should be in good shape. We're going to click on Start Streaming, and then we'll navigate back to YouTube, where in this preview window, you'll start seeing a preview of what you had going on in OBS. So you'll usually get this nice little thing. Yeah, looks like you're ready. Click here to start streaming. Maybe you're just testing this maybe an hour before the game or something, and you don't want to burn up all your internet. Totally cool. Just wait. You've got a nice little excellent connection here. There's some analytics if you want to dive in that'll show you, people that are on, and there's a stream health section too. Especially if you're out in a high school field or somewhere that's with not the greatest internet, or you're hotspotting your phone, especially, you're going to want to keep eyes on that stream health. YouTube will give you warnings, and as well in OBS, in the bottom right hand corner, there's a little green box right now saying that we've got a great connection. If you got bad or poor, it'll be yellow or red. But once you're ready to go in YouTube, you're just going to click on Go Live. That'll send everything live to your channel, and everybody can watch it, or depending on how you have it set up. And then really at that point, you're just going to flip back to OBS. Obviously if you're a one-man show or a one-lady show, just start filming and get the best shot you can with your camera. And then as the game changes up, adjust your score or any other data that you put on the screen. So I'm really hoping this helps. There's so much good football being played, especially here in Canada, that in Ontario's where London Football TV is housed, and there's a lot of games just not making it, or that people can't see, or there's high school games that are 11 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon that nobody can get to. So if you have any questions on this, feel free to throw them in the comments, or message us directly on Instagram. I'll try to put a parts list up in the description. And if you'd like to see a medium setup to an advanced setup, I'd be happy to do videos on that. But certainly, I would love to see the demand for that. So if you'd like to see kind of the next step up from this and cool overlays and things like that, then please throw that in the comments or message us on Insta as well and let us know. But until then, happy streaming and good luck.